I had been trained to sort of think a certain way or whatever, and then pursued that path when it at the heart of who I am wasn't even authentic to me. And so then I was like, okay, I'm gonna go so hard for women until this shit is stamped out. And if I do that for the rest of my life, then that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna just support women, period.
Christian Walker, cultural icon. Round 2, we shot 10 minutes and then decided we're throwing it away.
We gotta flow a little bit better.
It
wasn't our best.
It was giving interview, and we're trying to give
conversation.
Yeah, we're trying to give conversation and real. Okay. So, you want to talk about our friendship first?
Well, I just wanted to say I'm so grateful for being here. I'm so proud of you. I mean, I know you're going to, I'm sure, ask me questions, and we're going to talk about me, and I want to talk about you, but just this is my first time in your studio, and just to see all of the hard work you've put into your podcast and just being able to watch you as a friend grow and expand, I just want you to know I'm so proud of you, and it's an honor to be here.
I love you. Thank you. I want to talk about your journey from being in politics.
Oh, Lord.
I know. To where you are now. And let me tell you why. Because so much of what I do is inspired by stories like that.
Yeah.
Because, you know, my whole thing is I want to move people away from politics.
Praise
and
God.
more into what can I do for me to better my life. Because everyone that pays attention to politics is angry, miserable,
preach,
and I cannot watch it anymore.
It's infuriating. And half the time, I mean, I noticed this with me, and there's a million reasons why I went a different direction and stepped out and was disgusted and needed to just do something different. But one thing when I reflect on the craziness that I was doing is I had such a great life. When I look back at that time, I had great friends. I lived in a great place. I had a lot of fun times. I was relaxed. And I worked myself so much into a tizzy that I couldn't even enjoy life. I mean, you know, I picked up and left Los Angeles, my favorite place in the world, a place I plan on never leaving again, because I convinced myself it was so bad and I need to get out of here. And I brought my ass right back. A lot of the times it's detached from reality. I mean, of course, politics can determine a big part of our lives. It's not to say it's wholly unimportant, but at least with what I was doing, I was making it like this god, and I was detached from reality. It wasn't healthy. So that's another reason why I'm so inspired by what you do, and I brag about it. When we were at a place that can't be named, and I went into a pitch for your brand, because I think it's so important, like you said, to encourage learning and what we can do to build ourselves up versus putting so much stock in things that oftentimes we can't change. Not telling people don't be politically involved at all if you're passionate about something, but make sure that you're pouring into yourself too.
Amen.
Period.
One of my favorite things that you ever responded on one of your videos was somebody commented, and they're like, wow, I feel so bad for misjudging you. You know, this whole time I thought you were this and this and this. And you're like, oh yeah, I said crazy things. That makes sense. I was just so blown away by the fact that, one, you responded, and two, you responded like that.
I don't judge or feel any type of way about people reacting to the way I was, or like now that I've changed, there's people who used to like me who react differently to me now. I think when you're sort of just flowing, and I wouldn't even describe my old self as being authentically me at all.
Yeah.
But when you're putting different things about yourself out there, people are allowed to have a reaction to you and what you do. Like when I talk about Dusties now or whatever, and men get upset, they're entitled to be upset, and I'm entitled to stand and talk my shit. We can disagree. We might fight. We might whatever. But I definitely don't feel any sort of beef for people who used to have an issue with me and no longer do and like my stuff now. I mean, I totally understand.
When did you realize you weren't authentically you? And after you answer it, I'm going to answer it because I have that story too.
For yourself?
Yeah, of course.
When I wasn't being authentically me.
Like, you realize it and you're like, wait, I'm pivoting out of this and I'm going to start talking about like women and all this stuff that you talk
So
about
it's
now.
kind of funny because, and I literally thank God for this, because half of it was my realization and half of it was completely out of my control. And looking back now, I'm just like, thank you, God, for like making that happen and getting me out, because I think I had gone down a destructive path for a long time. I had been doing that craziness for years by the time that I got out of it. And sometimes, like, when you're going down a path that's not for you, you think you're so far deep into it that you can't turn back. Number one, that's false. But that's how I felt at the time. And so it was around like in 2022 that I was like, okay, I'm feeling a little fishy. This doesn't feel good right now. Not only does it not feel good, I know it's not good, but I've been going down this road for so long, I really don't know what to do.
And keep in mind, I just want to say this for people. Like, you were getting all the likes and validation and attention. Like, you were on fire in the craziest way. Like, it was viral every day.
First of all, it is so lazy. First of all, I'm not that person anymore, so I'm not like defending what I did necessarily. But it is so lazy when people comment on my shit and they're like, "Oh, he was irrelevant in that world, so he had to pivot." No, I was not. I was viral every single day, like I am now. I was definitely not irrelevant. No. But, okay, so I started feeling like it was fishy. I didn't want to do this anymore. But then my dad was running for Senate, and then it got so out of control that I felt compelled to come out against him. And so that was really the moment that I was like, okay, I've had it. I'm going to be done. But what seemed like was such a dark time, which was me coming out against him and all the backlash and just all of that family drama and all that, actually was worked for my good, because it got me out of the way I was going. And I then was able to just talk about something that's more important to me. And it was so natural. I came out and defended my mom and my other siblings' mothers. And then I was like, wait, this is the fucking shit I care about. Like, I care about women. I want to support women. And it was during that time that I noticed, oh my gosh, like, my siblings' moms and my mom's stories are so true. Like, we have police reports, like, I've survived this. And as I come out against my dad, people are telling me, like, we're lying, we're being paid, we're whatever. And so then I was like, okay, I'm gonna go so hard for women until this shit is stamped out. And if I do that for the rest of my life, then that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna just support women, period. And so that's when my content changed.
I love it, because for me, and we talk about this all the time, I think that's one of the reasons we bond so hard, is because I want to live in a world where women have just as much power and are empowered the way that men are. Because, you know, the way we're socialized and all that, it is very disempowering. It is very like, you have to be this and do this so people accept you, and you have to be submissive and this and that. All of this like horrible messaging that we get that leads us literally down the worst paths ever, leads you into abuse, horrible relationships where you have no financial stability of your own and you're dependent on someone else. So therefore you're disempowered in those situations.
Totally.
But I want to go back to the authenticity thing, because what you said about you just felt it was wrong. You just didn't feel good about it.
Yeah.
That's the thing.
Yeah, totally.
That's the thing that I felt. Like, I was doing this podcast and...
Oh, I love this.
I was doing this podcast and... I mean, you could go look at these episodes. Tom Bilyeu, Konstantin Kisin, you know, there's a ton. And I watched the episodes and I'm like, that's not me. I'm like, that's not even me.
Right.
That's not even me. Who is that person? And I'll tell you who the person is. It's the person that everyone's telling me to be.
Mm-hmm.
Nicole, you're too much. You're a little too opinionated. You don't want to seem like a bitchy girl.
Right.
You don't want to seem like someone who's going to emasculate a man. So don't act like this on your podcast. If you even have a podcast, that's already too bold. So why don't you tone it down?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm thinking to myself, like, okay, I'm single. I'm in my early 30s.
Let me just behave.
Let me just behave, because because I'm not about to have this podcast but then be alone.
Right.
Which was also a misconception, because remember you and I went to that book.
Oh my gosh, delicious.
Yeah, that event about when women lead. And literally every single panelist
was married with kids. But
was a high-powered woman.
That's my point.
Yeah.
Was successful,
Yeah.
was empowered,
Yeah.
was a misbehavior, because they were in industries that were like, I'm not saying, not even male dominant. They just had interesting products.
Yes.
And things that were outside of the box, and things that took a lot of balls to do.
Yeah.
So, and then just on the note of like you feeling like you had to behave on the podcast, yeah, you were trained by certain people to be something that wasn't even authentic to who you are. And I'm not saying that all of us are perfect. Sometimes we have to make little shifts in who we are because we want to be better and we want to constantly grow. But when you feel inauthentic, you can't keep going down that road. And that's my story too. I had been trained to sort of think a certain way or whatever, and then pursued that path when it at the heart of who I am wasn't even authentic to me. And I'm grateful that I got taken out of that. So many people go their whole lives without ever shifting or without ever turning back and going a more authentic path. So we need to be grateful that we've come to this realization.
1,000%.
Yeah.
Something that I was thinking about, and it's something I recently started doing with like the help of a coach, but you spend a lot of time with yourself. Like, I feel like people probably watch your videos and you're this like animated guy yelling from his car, hyped up on coffee, and they probably think like, oh, he loves to go out and be around people and crowds and whatever. And you're like at home taking inventory.
I'm such an introvert. I think there's like these misconceptions about introverts. Like we have social anxiety or we're shy. And I'm sure that's the story for a lot of introverts.
Yeah.
I don't have social anxiety. I'm not shy. I can talk. I love to perform. I love being in front of a camera, but I recharge and I like being alone. And I don't know where that comes from. I mean, I'm kind of an only child. I have all these other siblings, but between my parents and I grew up as an only child. And then I was a gymnast. That's like an individual sport. And so I was always very comfortable being alone. And I like it like that. And I mean, you even see in our friendship, I like one-on-one stuff, sometimes a small intimate group, but I don't like to be out. No.
No. I know you don't.
Yeah, no.
I know you don't.
And I feel more creative when I'm alone too. I think I recognize the extroverted experience, and I know extroverts recharge with people and all of those things, but I think we also, just like introverts need to sometimes be social, extroverts need to take time to be by themselves. So just like you said, I do, they can take inventory with what's going on and check in on themselves. You can't do that when there's a ton of people around all the time. Even if you're coming to epiphanies and you're being creative with people, you can't actually sit down and have an intimate moment with yourself with a ton of people. You just can't. So I think there has to be a balance.
There's this quote, I think Naval said it, and it's something like, the quality of your life is what it is at the end of the night when everyone's gone.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Love that.
That's what it is. And it's 'cause we're surrounded by so much noise and input that you think all of these things are, bringing you happiness and leading you somewhere. And but you really don't know anything unless you sat alone with yourself. You really don't.
Totally. And again, I recognize the extroverted experience, and I know some people like to be out, and I'm not judging that. That's just me.
Same.
But I also do think that for a lot of people, they use groups, they use partying, they use whatever it is to distract themselves from whatever they're going through. I mean, I distract myself too. I'm not saying I don't, but you just have to be careful with that.
Yeah, that's so true.
Yeah.
So when O.J. Simpson died, you made a post, but you've somehow felt connected to this and that you related to it. In what way? What did that bring up for you?
So I made a small little Instagram story where I wrote, it's now on my Instagram highlights. And no, I was not around, but nor did I know about it when I was younger. and going through a hard time with my parents. Just watching my mom go through certain things with my father. But as I grew up and I learned about the OJ situation, I felt I just related to it so much, mainly because he's such a charming guy. My dad's very charming. Listening to Nicole's phone call that you can go listen to and seeing her plead with the police and reading stories about how she had told friends that she was being abused, but people didn't really believe her. They didn't take it seriously because he was so charming and likable. I mean, I was like, whoa, this is my situation. The only thing that's different is my mom is the OJ and Nicole that didn't happen. She's the Nicole that actually never got murdered. And so when he died, and honestly, anytime it's brought up, when the series came out, whatever, I just felt so connected to her and her children. I can't imagine what I would be had I lost my mom, the pain there. But really, I feel connected to the power of his celebrity and how much people sort of gave him a pass, celebrated him when he got off. Like, I felt that deep in my soul. So when he passed away, I just felt the need to, it really pained me. Like, I don't know, feelings just came up. So,
You
yeah.
describe your dad as like, very charming, and you've mentioned to me there are very good qualities about him, and you're like, I've had great times with him.
100%.
And you have.
Yeah, I think people so badly want to put other people in these boxes of good or evil, and there are good people, there are evil people, but what's even more sinister than that is evil people that have good moments and good people that do evil things. That's just much harder for us to process. And I would say that about my dad. He has great parts. We've had good times. He struggles from a disorder that he's open about called DID, dissociative identity disorder, multiple personalities. And there's some good people in there that I enjoy or whatever, but at the same time, he's done a lot of destructive, awful, horrible things. And to be quite honest, ruined some lives. And when you become an adult and you choose to have children, and you have to be accountable, and you are responsible for that, regardless of what you're going through. When you create life, you are now responsible for that. So
Reminds me of what you said, where you're like, you're not a good father just because you pay money for your kids or you spend money on your kids. Because a lot of people just think that's what fatherhood is. Like, yeah, sure, we got divorced, but I took care of everything.
disgusting. No, I mean, yeah, period. You're not a good dad just because you pay for shit. You're not a good husband just because you pay for shit. Fatherhood, being a husband, is a lot more than just, being a piggy bank. I think a lot of fathers, especially fathers with money, especially fathers who feel shame or guilty for things that they've done, think they can sort of restore the relationship just by handing out money. Thank God. Oh, thank God. I mean, I can't imagine. I say this kind of as a joke, but it's not a joke. I'm always like, thank God we weren't broke. I know there's so many people that go through a situation like mine and they don't even have money. Like, they're struggling to survive
Most people,
financially.
by the way.
Most people. So
Yeah.
like, I'm like one of the lucky ones. Thank God that we were always financially taken care of in that sort of way, but that doesn't heal wounds. That doesn't heal family crap. Yeah.
Your mom is with someone amazing right now.
The best.
So you've seen the best and the worst.
Pretty much.
What was that like for you? And how did your mom, I guess, get out, survive, and also then choose someone good? Because we do see with a lot of women this pattern of like,
Repeatedly
going
choosing.
back to someone who doesn't treat them well, trying to convince a guy that they're worthy, a guy who's not treating them well, because they project that fantasy of them being good onto them even when they're not. So how did you observe that transition? How did that work?
I know my mom would say she got through it with faith, but for me, and I always like to say this about like step parents, I have an amazing stepfather. People have like step parent horror stories. Mine is literally the best man walking the planet, like sent by God for me and my mom. Like there will never be enough words or enough bragging I can do on that man and what he did to our lives and the restoration that he brought and how much he treats my mom like a princess. Like he is the best at the same time. It's been great to observe the relationship. But for me as a child growing up, and they got married when I was like 6 years old. So
Oh,
my parents
wow.
had been together for a long time before they ever had me. And then they got divorced, separated pretty immediately, and then divorced when I was 2. And then my stepfather comes into my life like 5, 6. It would have, I think, been one thing for me if I didn't have a dad in my life, like period. Like my dad had went away and never came back. And then my stepfather came into my life. There still would have been wounds there. I'm sure there still would have been abandonment wounds or whatever. But my situation was hard because I had a father who was being actively destructive.
To you?
I mean, yeah, like I have this crazy childhood. Even throughout my childhood, my dad's being destructive with my mom, threatening all of this stuff. So my stepdad comes into our lives and he's amazing and he's fantastic, but he doesn't take away what we're dealing with over here. He can be a stronghold and he can hold us down. And again, he was amazing, but it's like, because I was so little, I mean, I can look back now, it wasn't like, oh, we went from this to this. My mom did. She was no longer married to my dad, but I was going back and forth. So it was a lot.
How did you move past all this? Because the thing is, I look at you and I observe your behaviors, not just with other men or whatever, just in friendship. You have very strong boundaries. You have no problem saying no. You have no problem saying no to me or anyone else.
Yeah, no.
If you don't want to do something, you don't do it. If you want to
Pretty much.
communicate something, you communicate it very directly. I feel like from the situation you came from, this was like a work in progress to get here.
Yeah. By no means do I think I'm perfect. I have so many struggles. Like, I'm not perfect. I think I'll be doing inner work till the day I die, for real.
Same.
I will be. I'll be constantly growing and constantly overcoming things and breaking through. But to be honest, I think I'm just comfortable with that. And I think the other thing is when it comes to the things I struggle with or, my different issues, I'm really honest with myself about it. I see a lot of people or know a lot of people that don't even acknowledge the problems they're facing. And this goes back to the ways that people distract themselves. They distract themselves with partying all the time. They distract themselves with work. I definitely distract myself at times, but from a young age, I mean, like my teenage years, I recognized certain problems and how they were manifesting in my life, was honest about it. Like, it's okay to be like, I have a problem. Like, this is a problem in my life. Like, we don't have to walk around pretending we're perfect. I was always really honest with myself about it. And then I experimented with trying to fix it. And changed behaviors. And I'm going to constantly be changing behaviors again and overcoming things. But I was honest with myself. I change behaviors when I see it's a problem. And that's my human experience. And then as far as like the saying no and all that, again, I'm an introvert. I'm good riding solo. I was an only child. And I have a strong-willed mom too. She's the same way. Thank God. Like, I have such a strong mom. And so she didn't raise me with shame. Like
That, okay. That's everything. That's everything. Because look at like Brene Brown. She's a shame and vulnerability researcher. Think how prevalent shame is.
Yeah.
That she's so popular.
Yeah.
Think about that.
Yeah.
You weren't raised with shame.
No.
But in what way? Like, can you get into that a little more? Because it's such a powerful sentence.
I learned from friends that struggle with that, what shame looks like and how it manifests. And then I say to myself, oh, I definitely wasn't raised like that. My mom just taught me to have strong values and convictions and stand in them, period. And that's how she is. It's not even like she directly taught me. Like, I watched her do it. She's happy to say no to crap.
Yeah.
We never, oh my gosh, praise God about this. And as especially in Los Angeles, I have different friends who come from different communities or whatever and worry about this. Like, we never ever worried about like what other people were saying. My mom was never like, this person will think that if you do this. Like, no, we just handled our crap. We just survived together. And we just did our crap together, and we just went the mile, and we're period. So I think I've just taken that example and that lesson into my adult life too. And the people that are for me are going to be for me, and the people that aren't.
That's what it is. You don't put weight in what other people think of you.
No.
You really just don't. I remember someone asked you, how do you deal with the criticism? Remember what you said?
No, what did I say?
Oh, they're punching up. I can't even feel it. I was just like, holy shit. Like, that, just the perspective on that alone. And I think about that when I think about that, especially in parenting, not just like when I'm going to be a parent, but I hope today's parents are teaching their kids stuff like this.
Right.
I sincerely hope, because I think that makes or breaks. And by the way, I love your reaction even to my community. And by the way, Persian Jews love you.
And I love Persian Jews. All my friends are Persian Jewish.
But you've also seen what they go through within their own community, because the entire community is all about like, okay,
this person thinks this.
Yeah, this person thinks that. And how can I do this and appear this way so that these people include me, invite me to parties, so I can marry within the community? It's such a pressure for so many people who are in it, which is why I've always had one foot out. Mm-hmm. It's always been that for me, because I just wouldn't be able to live that way.
Yeah, right. Who wants to live like that? Worrying all the time what people are saying about you.
Yeah, who wants to live like that?
It's not to say you don't struggle sometimes, or you don't want people to like you. I mean, of course we all do. To be well liked and well loved, but I'm strong in who I am. Again, not perfect, willing to change, open to developing, of course, always. But I'm not going to get knocked off course by someone who's irrelevant to my life, not helping take me to the next level, doesn't care about my well-being. I'm going to care about what that person thinks about me? Never. Never.
Ooh. Ooh. The fucking heat.
Yeah, no.
Yeah,
no. And
I don't think so.
I mean, I don't really... Yeah, I hope kids aren't learning that from their parents.
Yeah. Definitely not. I know we've had this conversation, and I always tell people, don't steal this from me, because this will probably be my book. But I always say, if you want to know if something is the thing that you're calling it, define the word.
Love.
Right?
Love.
Define the word. So can you define friendship for you? Because I love what you just said right there. We were talking about community, mm-hmm. But you're like, look, if these people aren't doing this, contributing to my development,
care about me and my well-being,
all those things, then why would I care about their opinions? And I think one of the biggest mistakes that we make is assuming people are our friends when they are not.
Awful.
Stop calling everyone your friend.
Yeah, not everyone's your friend or your best friend.
Just because you follow each other, you follow each other on social media doesn't mean you're friends.
No, never.
Just because you see each other.
Just because you work together.
Oh.
They're forced to be there with you.
Yeah,
they're forced to cooperate with
friends.
you. Yeah, no.
So can we just define friendship really quick, and I'll contribute too.
Yeah, please, let's build it together.
So, okay, I'll start.
Okay.
I think someone's your friend when they're not just there for you during the bad times, but they're celebrating with you during the good times. Because some people think, oh, if they're there for you when you're down bad.
No, people get joy in seeing you down bad.
Yeah, they love it. Are you kidding? They love knowing that they're not the only ones with problems.
Right.
But when they can also be there for you when life is good and you're thriving, I think that's a good sign.
Love that. I think a friend is also willing to critique and criticize bad behavior that they see in you. I do that to my friends. I want my friends to do that to me. I can't be in I'm not going to be in a friendship where we walk on eggshells. You want me to encourage your bad decisions.
Yeah.
We'll never be doing that ever. Like you said, celebrates the good times, wants to see you level up, goes on goal journeys with you. And listen, I'm not saying like every friend needs to be like, we're going to the gym this morning, then we're going to work. Like, I have fun with my friend. We have fun.
And I don't wake up at 6 a.m. like
yeah,
you.
yeah.
And I don't wake up at 6 a.m. like
period. Like, all my friendships are fun, but there also needs to be substance behind it. A friendship with no substance is an acquaintance, you know. So celebrates you during the good times, is there for you during the bad times, wants to see you at your best, wants to see you be your best, therefore is willing to criticize you and critique you and can take that themselves, and holds your hand through life and cares about your well-being.
Cares about your well-being.
A friend that does not critique you sometimes doesn't care about your well-being. A friend that does not celebrate you when you're at a high doesn't care about your well-being. On and on and on.
Yeah, people don't realize that what they have are acquaintances and not friends.
Yeah.
Very important to define what a friend is.
Yeah, and it's not like you have to go around saying, this is an acquaintance, not my friend.
Yeah, no, it doesn't have to be. It just take inventory.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like so many people tell me, and I know my mom does this.
Right.
My mom will literally look at someone and be like, that's not your friend. She's like, she's jealous.
Love her.
I don't even, yeah. My mom's just like, she's jealous. I don't like her energy. I don't really want her at the house. Like, that's how she is.
Yeah.
You know, and for the longest time, I thought she was so judgmental. And then I realized, like, no, she's picking up on things that I just haven't picked up on.
Right.
I don't know this because I want to believe that everyone's my friend. I want to believe that, but it's just not true.
Yeah, and I think even just like in dating or whatever, you can sometimes project what you want someone to be. You can project them being a good friend when really they don't have the capacity sometimes. Sometimes you can care about someone and they don't have the capacity to be a good friend. They haven't done enough inner work. They are not honest about what they're going through, what they've been through, and problems that they've worked through. And so they'll start projecting their insecurity onto you. That's not someone you can keep in your life as a friend. You can care about them. I have lots of people I care about that I'm not super close with now because it wasn't a match.
Yeah. I want to bring up something completely unrelated that I was thinking about.
Okay.
So, like, you know, I always read the comments on your videos and, like, hilarious.
Oh, yeah,
like,
they can be good.
The fans are hilarious.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They're on board with no Dusty.
Period.
They're just, they're great. And in every video, someone writes, and it gets like 1,000 likes or whatever. Oh, I wish you could just yell at me all day. I need Christian Walker yelling at me all day. And I was thinking, because you're on Cameo, right?
Yeah, I don't really do it anymore, but I'm on.
Okay, well, here's the thing. I think it would be a huge mistake to buy your Cameo and have you go, hey, it's Christian Walker. Just wanted to say happy birthday, Michelle. Like, mistake.
Yeah.
That's a mistake. What I think people should buy your Cameo for is when their friend is going through a bad time with a guy.
They've done that before.
Okay, because that's...
And I've snapped off on the friend.
Yeah, that's what I think people need to be... Like, if you think your friend will benefit from Christian Walker yelling at them specifically...
Buy them a Cameo.
Buy the Cameo, and he'll be like, Michelle, we need to talk. Yeah. Michelle, we need to talk. This guy is a Dusty, and let me explain.
He's horrific. He's not even giving you princess treatment.
Disgusting.
Do you think that badly about yourself that you're willing to accept trash? That's ghetto.
Yeah, that's ghetto. That's disgusting. That's tacky.
Yeah, but I would also like people to know. I mean, I don't walk around all day yelling.
No, you don't. Who was that guy? He's like famous for going around and just singing to people. I think he like sang to Joe Biden.
Yeah, Harry.
I think.
Harry.
And he saw you at Air One and he posted this video and you're just like smiling the whole time and you're like, oh my God, you're really good. You know? And people are like, oh wow, he's so nice, blah, blah, blah. It's like, dude, what did you think? He's yelling all day?
Like, I know.
It's fun. It's crazy because you're actually one of the happiest, most alive, bright people I know. But you're just yelling to get the message across. You need to yell to get the message. They're not getting it.
Yeah, people, I mean, and I like to perform and I like to entertain. So there's a time and a place for that. But in person, I'm kind of just bouncing around in my like fairy era, light and juicy.
I love the fairy era.
Yeah, I'm just light and juicy and bouncy in person. And then on the internet, I'm like, he's trash.
Yes. Okay. So I want to go back to the masculinity, femininity thing because you and I have both. And by the way, most people have both, but they're really trying to convince you out there that you need to be this way, you need to be that way to attract whatever you need to attract. But we all know that if a man is masculine, it inspires
femininity.
The feminine. And it's so funny because we've watched multiple videos of like men in interviews talking about how they love loud, boisterous women.
Oh, yes.
Some serious kings. And you made this one video on TikTok about how like all of these men are choosing the high-powered lawyers and the,
all these successful men.
Yes.
All these rich, successful men.
Yeah.
In that video, I really was just frustrated with seeing this sort of red pill sphere push out this messaging that, men only want a 20-year-old girl who's feminine and no experience and whatever. And they were trying to project that onto successful men when we look into what successful men are choosing for wives. And I'm talking the top of the top.
Oh, yeah.
The people I used were Jeff Bezos, George Clooney, and Logan Paul. Again, in my video, I said, say what you want about Logan Paul. He's richer than all these dusty red pill men, so he counts as a top success story. They're not choosing 20-year-olds. They're not choosing 21-year-old supermodels. They chose empowered women. George Clooney chose an international lawyer. Logan Paul chose someone who's older than him. He could have chosen the 20-year-old. You think a 20-year-old wouldn't bang Logan Paul for the clout and the money? Of course. He didn't choose that. He didn't choose that. He put a ring on and a baby inside of
more than that.
An older woman.
More than that.
A woman who's older than him.
Yes.
What?
Here's what I love about that story.
What?
Do you remember when Dylan Dennis was going off trying to? I mean, he pulled every card in the book.
Preach. Love this.
I'll tell you this. A man who's actually in his feminine, okay, would have crumbled at that.
Totally.
Don't tell me, I'm a strong, I wouldn't
I'm a
accept
strong
that. What's
alpha
her
man?
body count? Blah, blah. Stop it.
I can't.
Stop it.
I can't.
Stop
I
it.
can't.
Because
Weenie Central.
He posted, he
posted like naked pictures of the girl.
Yeah, he posted a video of her saying that she wanted someone to come destroy her. Yeah, someone to come destroy her body. And you think he didn't see that? No, Logan Paul saw it all, and he went like this.
Yeah.
And
where's Dylan Dennis now?
Where's Dylan
Logan
Dennis
Paul
now?
got his fiance pregnant. They're
That's
about to bring life into the world.
That's it.
Dylan Dennis, I don't even know what even happened to him. And that actually goes back to our past conversation about when people are punching up, you totally ignore them. Now, I don't even know what Dylan Dennis is doing. I do know that Logan Paul is getting married to Nina, and they're having a baby.
And his drink Prime is said to be worth in $1 billion. So, I don't know.
Yeah, so, youth is great. Enjoy your young years. If you find someone you want to get married to, go. I mean, everyone's life is different, but this idea that as a woman gets older, she's suddenly not worth anything. We actually don't see that when we check into what successful men are choosing for partners.
Yep,
a lot of times they're choosing older women.
Right.
It's the dusty men that can't get an older woman or a younger woman who are making up all these rules. Babe,
yeah, you know why? You know why? They're rejected, so they feel like they have to become the rejector.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
That was good. That was a bar.
Yeah, that's
so
what it is.
Good. Meanwhile, they don't even have any options.
And you touched on something really important. This little red pill community, which the manosphere, whatever you want to call it, these people are sitting behind keyboards and not getting laid. Why don't you talk to the men who are married?
Yeah, period.
To women that are amazing and see what they think, because they don't think like you. This concept of, a smoke show and a young, I feel like at first when you watched me get triggered by this word.
Can we talk? Can we
because
unpack
this is real.
smoke
This is
show
real.
thing?
This is real.
This is
real.
something I'm like most grateful to you for. Like you just like giving me that download about the smoke show thing. So let's unpack that. So you talk about what a smoke show is and why it triggered you. Don't talk about why it triggered you. Talk about your reaction to what a smoke show is. I'm going to tell you about what I was thinking when you would get triggered and then where we've gotten to now and why it triggers both of us. So what's a smoke show and how do you react to it? Not why, how. What's a smoke
show is a girl that's very attractive, often referred to as like a 10 or
Seductive.
whatever. The type of woman, sometimes she doesn't even have to be seductive.
I was about to say, the way
she looks. She walks into a room and people wonder, who is that? And I specifically overheard a man talking about how one of the best feelings in the world is when he walks into a room with a girl who is a smoke show and everyone's wondering, God, I wonder what that guy does. I wonder who that guy is. You're describing that as one of the best feelings in the world. Something's up in your life that's one of the best feelings in the world. So the reason that it triggered me the way that it did.
No, don't talk about the reason yet.
What?
No.
You said how something.
Stop right there and I'll tell you when you would get triggered about it, what I would think.
Okay.
I would think, like, are you saying, like, he can't find her attractive? Because I want guys that I'm talking to, I want a man to find me attractive. You want a guy to find you attractive. Like, there's nothing wrong with sexual attraction.
Nothing.
You should be attracted to your partner, like, no doubt about it. Now you transmitted the download to me when it hit me through my own experiences with certain men that it had nothing to do with a woman. It wasn't that they were attracted to her and were interested in building a relationship. It was the fact that they used her just as a status symbol, and that's all she was. Furthermore, those women get tossed aside all the time. But you can talk about why it triggers you more.
I know. I was surprised when you didn't get it at first, but
I didn't get it.
It made so much sense. I knew that you would get it because when you talk about womanhood, you're like, a lot of men don't really like women or they don't value womanhood because the way someone looks is literally a slice of the pie.
Right.
A slice of the pie.
And how many people do we know that step into relationships with beautiful women and it's a disaster because they're not a match. They're not a match. All that guy is looking for is how a woman looks. Again, I'm not saying you have to be with someone you're not attracted to. I hope you're attracted to your future partner. I hope you all maintain it. Like all of those things, you get to be attracted to them. But if you don't take into account any other qualities except how they look, well, you're just get ready for disaster.
What do you think you're going to get? And also, here's the other thing, and you and I feel like we're observing this together in real time with women in social circles. All of these supermodels were getting cheated on, and all of these girls thought, oh, if I'm just a little prettier, then maybe I would be chosen or I would be in a relationship. But if you look at the relationships that are out there, the girls who are actually thriving are not quote unquote smoke shows. Ooh, smoke. Oh, she's a smoke show.
Let's lay something down.
Let's stop, guys.
Smoke show, looks, beauty, important. Maintain your best, be your best, all of those things. That gets you in the door. You get taken on the date. We live in LA. These smoke shows, they get taken on the trips. They don't necessarily bag a good husband.
They don't.
You get taken on these little experiences. That's not what at least my audience, that's not what my audience is looking for. They're not looking to be taken on one trip and dumped.
No.
Pumped and dumped in Dubai. No, no, so it's totally false. A lot of the prettiest girls that we know are losing because they're insecure. They don't have spice. They're willing to put up with bad behavior. A man will use you. Sometimes he'll even wife you and use you and disrespect you and whatever, and then lust after a spicy queen who won't put up with that bullshit.
I want to get into the spicy in a second, but first I want to talk about why so many women are insecure. Okay? Especially the most attractive women.
Mm-hmm.
Because when you think your entire worth is wrapped up in your youth and beauty, that's inevitably going to decline, as it does with all human beings. And every 18-year-old is going to turn 40, 50, 60 someday. That's just the truth.
Right.
It's just the truth.
Right.
But when you know that you have other good qualities, like integrity and wit and fun and things that are valued, you know what I mean? Curiosity,
Yeah.
you know, being a good listener. These are all good qualities. There are
Right.
so many good resilience, good qualities that human beings have that are attractive, and those actually bond you with people in friendships and romantically. And those people will have lasting friendships. But if all you have is your looks,
And that's it. No character, no nothing else. Of
what do
course,
you
that's a
think's gonna
recipe for
What do you
insecurity.
think is gonna happen?
Yeah.
There's no heat, there's no tension, which leads us to the spicy girl,
Right.
which we really need to start a movement.
Yeah,
here.
we need
We
to
need to
start
start
a
a
stay
movement
spicy
here.
movement.
Stay spicy movement.
Stay spicy.
So, you know, I guess Lauren Sanchez is a good example. A lot of
Beautiful.
Latinas, who's another example? Marjorie Harvey?
Gosh, what's her name?
Sofia
Lori-
Vergara?
Sophia.
Lori
Harvey.
Okay.
Sofia Vergara is probably a great
Ooh,
one.
yeah.
And
Not apparently J-Lo's not the one right now. TikTok is not having it.
I so go blank when it's like, oh, come up with an example.
But no, we think there's so many.
Yeah, there are so
many.
There's so many. Again, attractiveness may get you in the door. I think spiciness is the glue. I think men are attracted to chasing, and a woman who can't be bossed around and disrespected is a woman that constantly needs to be chased. It's not necessarily that he has to constantly come after her. You have to not be yourself. It's just knowing that he can't act up and him checking his behavior, and it keeps him on his toes. And so a spicy woman is a woman who doesn't put up with crap, is willing to walk away, and doesn't say, this is the only man in the world there is for me, so I'm going to accept whatever he does. She's like, I'm willing to walk away and go find a different king if I'm not getting the respect that I deserve from this man.
And by the way, that's what creates heat and tension and things like that. I went on a date with this guy. I told you this story, but I do think it's a good story, where he told me that one of the best relationships he's ever been in, the girl asked him not to cuss even around him. I mean, even around her. Like, don't even cuss around, not at me, also not around me. And he's like, I did it once by accident, like I wasn't thinking. And she just gives him a look like,
It took a look.
just a look. And he goes, and I never did it again.
I think women need to trust their power a little bit more. They
They need to know that they have power. That's why I don't
yeah.
like this word submissive. Where do you want these women to be Where do you want women to be submissive? Explain
Well, it's just
that to me.
the submissive word can be really funny, especially when women are out here working, paying all their bills, doing whatever. What they supposed to submit to a red pill guy sitting on Twitter tweeting? Like, you want a submissive woman? Well, you go be a good man. I don't. But
what does that mean that they want a submissive woman? What does that even mean? Like, I'm serious. I don't understand it. Like, I see these guys talking about, like, I want to lead and I'm a boss and I'm a this. And it's like, lead us where? Where are we going?
I think women a lot of the times think that if they step out of line or they do something, the guy might run off. He might go somewhere else, find a different girl. If you feel like that with a guy, that's not your guy. The right guy for you, we know a certain individual who is dating an absolutely awful person for him. Now, I don't know if she's an awful girl in general. She is absolutely horrific for him. She has done horrific things, and he defends her to the end of the earth. Now, I would want a man who I check and who checks me, and like we build each other up, and we're honest with each other. If you feel like you can't lay down your boundaries and say how you feel without running the man off, that's not your guy. A guy that's really about you and likes you will make excuses for some of your bad behavior.
Yeah.
Sorry.
1,000%.
Totally.
You know what's interesting? Because I see on TikTok, you're obviously leading as well, but we have some different characters like the Wizard Liz
Yeah, she's great.
or like Shira Seven, who we don't even she thinks everyone cheats and like we all just need to benefit and God bless her because she's protecting these
I know,
women
she's protecting
against
these girls. I mean, there's young girls watching her.
Yeah.
And learning some really good skills.
Yeah.
We don't believe all men cheat, but I'm really thankful for a lot of the things that she's teaching.
That's the thing, is that a lot of times people think like, oh, well, she's teaching everyone to be a gold digger. I've watched her content, and she does talk about self-love, and she does talk about boundaries, and she does talk about, just everything.
And just on the gold digger topic, I just have to say this. I say this in my videos. I mean, like, this expectation that women should be okay with living under a bridge. It's all just about love and how you feel about him. Even if he can't even afford food, just be with him or you're a gold digger. No, ma'am. You are not a gold digger because you don't want to live under a damn bridge. So, no, Shira's definitely not teaching gold digging. She's teaching, don't just be with a man for nothing. You need to get stuff out of your relationship. You're going to commit to someone for the rest of your life. I damn hope you're getting something. I damn hope you're protected and provided.
Because women tend to overcompensate when a man isn't giving. I've done it. My friends have done it. Tons of people on the internet are doing. I can see it in the comment section. I can see it in the comment section.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I think this is definitely a special time for women. And I want to talk about politics for a little bit.
Okay.
Just because I know you used to be in that world. And it's one of the things that infuriates me so much, because none of it's productive, is it?
No.
None of it's productive.
Oh my gosh.
And two, basically what I see from both sides is they're trying to teach some kind of ideology that they believe is right. And whatever problems you have in your life, they convince you that, you need to think this way or you need to think that way. And if you vote for this person or that person, then the problem will be solved, which is never the case. There has been no sitting president that has solved the individual problem. We wouldn't have a loneliness epidemic.
Yeah.
If that was the
Straight
case,
up.
we wouldn't have one. There was a loneliness epidemic when Trump was president, and there is one now.
Right.
So I don't want to hear that. But two, one of the things that I've noticed particularly for women is on the liberal side, you have the, break the glass ceiling. Women can do it all. I also think that's destructive. And then you also have the sexual freedom, OnlyFans, that whole thing. Then the response to that on the conservative side is we need to go back to tradition. Women shouldn't be encouraged to work or have financial freedom. It's just so sad that there's so many single childless women. Okay, let's go look
childless woman. A man came in her. He was happy to put his thing inside of her, but it's her fault. Right.
But also it's like there's also all these single childless men. So if there's single childless women, their counterparts are also single and childless.
Thank you.
Let's just start there.
Yeah.
So that's already infuriating. And two, have we considered, by looking at how many adults are trying to recover from their childhoods, that maybe not everybody is meant to be a parent? I think the conservatives have lost on that one. I don't know what it is. And by the way, I have some conservative values. I have some liberal values. I know you do too.
Right.
It's not like we need to identify with a political party. That's another dangerous thing that I think is horrible and ruining people's lives. But it's crazy to see how women are being convinced that they need to follow a certain political party, or it's this sense of belonging that they want to belong so badly to a group that they will, and I'm just going to use this word, people don't know it, they will become a pick-me-sha.
Oh.
They will become a
pick-me-sha.
And let's just unpack that word for a second, please.
I had the best definition, and of course I'm going to forget it. I always say there's like two versions. Okay. I don't know if this was the exact perfection definition I gave. I literally texted it to you in an audio one time. I'm going to have to go back and look. But what I'm going to say now is I say there's like two different types of pick-me-shas. There is the internet pick-me-sha who thinks if she spews a bunch of like hatred towards women, and she slams women, and she supports men no matter what, and a man can do no wrong, that a man's gonna pick her. And those men never want those types of women. Pearl. Yeah. And how about the like millions of viral videos going on right now about like Pearl, that one guy, and I clapped back at him one time, but he was, I think, right on this. I didn't watch the video, but the title was Pearl's Too Masculine, No Man Wants Her. You know, those women that sit online slamming other women, men don't want those women either.
Yeah.
The Pearls.
Yeah.
The other type of pick-me-sha, which is sad,
Yeah.
and, you know, I love these girls, but I want to get them out of this, is the won't stand up for herself pick-me-sha. If I just behave like this, I'm going to get the king. No, ma'am. No, man, if I just don't, you know, have any boundaries, don't
ruffle feathers.
Don't ruffle feathers. If I'm just a little, a good girl.
I'm a good girl. Yeah.
That's another type of pick.
Yeah, no, that's
you know what
that's
I mean?
the other thing. And again, ties back to the spicy theory. Stay spicy, queens. Literally stay spicy, because all the spicy girls who
they're winning. Attractive, not attractive,
it
whatever.
Doesn't even matter. It doesn't need to be a smoke show. Stop with the smoke show. So, oh my God, I wish I looked like you.
Standing in your convictions and not being willing to bend them for a man keeps a man.
Yes. Say that again.
Yeah.
Damn.
Seriously. What were you saying about the pick-me-sha before that?
I don't remember. I just had to bring it up. I just had to bring it up because...
from the politics.
From the politics. But that's the thing, is that they train you to be a pick-me, and online, if you behave that way, you get applauded. That's the other thing that I wanted to talk to you about, because you were killing it. You're killing it now, but you were also killing it before. You know what I mean? Like, we talked about it where like people are like, oh, he had to pivot, blah, blah, blah. You actually
I did not.
You did not have to pivot because every Republican and their mom was salivating over every single viral video.
Oh, gosh.
Like, you could have just kept doing that, and you could have gone head to head with The Wire. I mean, you could have done that.
Thank God for taking me out. Seriously. Thank the Lord.
Yeah.
So what was the question?
I think that's just it's very easy to be a pick-me.
Oh, yeah.
Online.
It also doesn't even have to be pick-me-sha for like men, like running defense for everything men do. You can be a pick-me-sha, you know, for your ideology.
Yeah.
And yes, definitely like leaning into just having one sort of identity, just talking about one thing and not being able to like be flexible or seeing everything as black and white and there being no gray. That definitely gets rewarded on the internet.
You know what I want to talk about?
And no human is like that. Like, no. You can't have a human experience and be like that. No.
Something that I just realized now that I want to talk about, because you're gay, and I know a lot of people who are gay in LA, and for a lot of people there was this concept of shame because they just weren't supposed to be that.
Right.
Their parents didn't want them to be. Their religion didn't want them to be. Whatever it was. I remember talking to you about it, and you're like, it's not like my parents were celebrating it, but I also didn't come out. You never had to come out.
Not really, no.
And I remember one of my friends met you on a FaceTime, and he said, God, it's so refreshing to talk to someone.
He was hot, everyone, by the way.
But he's like, it's so refreshing to talk to somebody who doesn't feel shame and never carried the shame, but also the need to come out or anything like that. Like, you were like a foreign concept to him.
Yeah.
You know, you have such strong conviction and you have no shame and you have a voice. And I think that's what's really special about you. And I think, like, you know, you're an inspiration to women, but I also think you're an inspiration to gay men.
Oh my God.
Or to anyone who feels shame about anything that they weren't supposed to be or that wasn't celebrated that they were that.
Thank you. When you were saying that, that just means a lot. So thank you. But I kind of thought of this one story. It might be totally pivoting and going a different direction. But I was always attracted to men. I was like super feminine when I was little. It was what it was. But people used to say to me, and it would just piss me off. They'd be like, your dad was like okay with it? Like, was your dad okay with it? Your dad didn't want you to play football? Like, did your dad want you to play football? And I was like, oh, see, babe, my dad was a Heisman Trophy winner. Like, he played professional. He played in the NFL. The parents that were like pushing their kids to do football, those are all the dads that didn't make it. Those are all the dads that didn't get picked up, didn't get a scholarship to college, didn't go pro, whatever. My dad was fine. I mean, we have our issues. We talked about them. We're not great. I mean, I'm not even speaking to him right now. There were other bad things. But as far as that, and as far as like my attraction, like, it wasn't an issue.
Ever.
No, I remember one time with my dad. I must have been in like 7th or 8th grade. I don't even know. And he was just, he would like sit on the couch and watch Judge Judy. Again, like I had like, everyone's family is dysfunctional. Like there, again, like I said, there were like good moments. There were bad moments. It was just the wildest childhood ever. I can't even. But he's sitting on the couch watching Judge Judy or Law and Order. He liked those 2 shows. And he wasn't even like looking at me. I don't know how the conversation came up. And he was like, I don't care if you like red, yellow, who you like. Like, I don't care. And it was just like, oh, okay. Now, we weren't like celebrating it, but it wasn't an issue. Like that.
I love that.
Yeah.
And look how confident you turned out.
Yeah, I've never, and also another thing, like I'm thankful to my mom and dad about, because people would be like, well, in school, like were people nasty to you? I have strong parents. One's from the rural South, one's from Brooklyn. Like one thing I'm really grateful for to my parents for is teaching me to defend myself. Like, no one ever messed with me in school because I'd fight you. Like I was willing to fight. I had a crazy sharp mouth, so I'd totally tear you down with my mouth if you ever even tried to come for me. And I was also willing to physically fight. And my parents always gave me the green light. My dad would be like, "Gah, come over here." He would call me Guy. "Gah, come over here." And I'd be like, "Oh my gosh." He'd be like, if anyone grabs you or touches you, you punch them right in the nose. And he'd make me like do it to his face, like get right close to his face. And my mom would be like, my mom had this one story where her mom told her in kindergarten, if this girl touches you again, pull her pigtails out of her head. And the next day my mom goes to school and pulled the girl's hair because the girl pushed my mom. Like, I was empowered to defend myself. How can you send your child? This pisses me off. This makes me deranged. How can you send your child to school not empowered to defend themselves?
And you know what I love about that? That, because there are some parents that they'll fight for their kids. And that's the worst.
Oh my gosh.
That's the worst.
The bullying gets worse.
Yeah.
Now, I will say this because my best friend, she's not shy now, one of my best friends. She grew up super shy. And she said that her mom, great mom, by the way, was like, I'm not coming to fight the battle. And my friend was like young. She was getting like sort of picked on by a guy, I think.
Yeah.
And my friend's mom was like, I'm not coming up to the school. You need to take care of this. And she'd like tell my friend things to do or say or whatever. And my friend was so paralyzed with fear that she couldn't. So I think there's special cases. Oof. But regardless, you need to empower your kids to defend themselves and stick up for themselves. So one of the reasons I think I'm confident and that I didn't have an issue in school was my parents were like, oh, if someone like is picking on you, all bets are off. And if there's an issue, then we pull up to the school and we're gonna take your back. We're gonna take your side. Now, if I ever misbehaved and I was in the wrong, my mom did not fuck with me at all. She completely penalized me, gave me consequences. I wasn't allowed to act up. I want to talk about this topic in a second. Boy moms who make a million excuses for their boys and raise narcissistic, awful men because their moms never call them the hell out. I know we know a lot of those. That was not my mom.
Yeah.
She called me out and I got consequences. But if someone was picking on me or whatever, I was allowed to wage war. So I think that's another way that I got here.
Let's get into the boy moms who do that because I want to hear about this.
Yeah, and I'm going to make an Instagram story about this. I've been meaning to. I just need to write it out.
I feel like you addressed it in one, but I know
I'm ready
you want to
ramp
go
it up
harder.
again.
Yeah, you're
I'm ready to ramp it up
We're
again.
coming back.
And you know, I've mentioned this before, and I got comments that were like, you're blaming women. You know, I'm not blaming women. All I do is like defend women. And I know that a lot of the times in these circumstances, the father isn't doing their job either. So this is by no means blaming women, but I'm a victim of this through my father. And I know there are so many women who step into marriages with men like this, date men like this, whatever with men like this, where they have moms that never called them out, saw them as a perfect saint, were dying to be a boy mom, love their son, whatever, and so he can do no wrong. And so those men are never called out by a strong woman. My mom loved me, is super warm and fuzzy. I'm really grateful that I grew up not only with like a good mom, but also like a warm mom that like gave me hugs and like just, she definitely spoiled me and all of those things. But when I was effed up or I was in the wrong, she didn't play with me. So I just think when men have these moms that never call them out and allow them to get away with anything because they love their son so much, first of all, that's not love. Love doesn't
That's
just
not love.
That's not love. Love doesn't just let someone get away with really bad things. But when that takes place, those men grow up to wreak a lot of havoc in other women's lives or their children or their grandchildren or whatever. So that's my boy mom rant.
It's crazy to me, and I know you get this all the time in your videos, but how many women have put up with not just physical, but verbal abuse and horrible relationships because they weren't empowered?
Yeah, so many. When I made that OJ post, that's now on my Instagram highlights.
Is that the story that everyone keeps talking about? Because I see also in your post, people are like, get back to the story, or I want to hear the rest of the story. Which story is it?
So I started a little series on TikTok called Our Big Secret, and it was the story about like some just crazy like childhood stories and stories about like family stuff. And I paused it because I think we'll probably be finishing that story on a screen. But as far as like my Instagram story, when I made one when OJ died, I got so, and sort of just was reflecting on that and what my mom survived. I got so many messages and DMs from other women who saw their moms go through it or have been through domestic abuse themselves. And I think I have a really crazy situation as far as childhood. And sometimes I think, oh, I've been through crazy crap. Like, not a lot of people have been through this. And the more I talk to people, the more I realize that this is such a crazy issue that affects so many people, the domestic abuse in relationships, whatever. It's affecting way more people than I even thought. So yeah.
Yeah, you mentioned on a screen. Well, because I know you and I know where this is headed, but I do feel like a lot of people look at you and see like a TikTok star and someone who's going on rants, but you're really a storyteller. I mean, if it's not obvious, you're a storyteller. You know? So what do you think is so important to you about this script or putting something out in the form of a movie, series, wherever you're going with it? What's different about that?
I think there's just some themes that can be translated via a long form art. I think they translate better that way. And right now I'm just so inspired by women's stories of survival. That's my upbringing. I mean, that's just what I've been through, watching women survive and survival in different areas, in relationship, in, domestic abuse, whatever it is. I'm interested in broken family stuff. I'm interested in blended families. And so I really want to tell that story. And then, of course, I'm interested in experiences of young adults. That's just where I'm at in my life right now. I think that will grow and change as I get older and go through more stuff. But especially after I got all those DMs from women saying, I've been through domestic abuse. I'm actually trying to leave my husband right now. I just left him, sort of struggling. I watched my mom go through this. It just hit me. Wow, so many people are going through this. Like, I've gotta tell a story. I've got to tell a story. people are going to relate to it more than I even thought. I know people would be entertained by my story or something inspired by my story, but at this point I'm like, oh, not only entertainment, a lot of people are going to relate to this.
What do you think it is that keeps women in these bad situations? Like, how did we learn the behavior of staying and not putting up with these things? I mean, of staying and not fighting back.
Well, I think a lot of the times women's lives are at risk, so they don't even have the option to leave, or they're financially reliant on the abuser.
Yeah.
And so they can't really go anywhere.
That's what bothers me so much about this conservative agenda of returning back to tradition. It's not that I think tradition doesn't have positive things. It for sure does. There's a lot of traditions that I think are worth preserving. But this one of women going back to tradition
should have no financial anything.
And not having a career and not having these things. And by the way, I totally understand and agree with a woman staying at home to raise her child. Love the stay-at-home moms, nothing on them. But I think before you become a stay-at-home mom, you can't just be a stay-at-home woman. I don't like that.
So here's my thing with that. I think staying at home, it's not even my thing. This is just the fact of the matter. Mm-hmm. Staying at home is a luxury. Some people don't even have the option to stay home.
Right.
My mom worked like a horse. My mom cooked, cleaned, and we grew up financially blessed. She didn't need to do anything. She did that. That's just how she was raised. That's what she does. She cooked, cleaned, did laundry. Like she did all of that stuff.
But what about before she was married?
But she got married at 19.
Okay, so then yeah, that.
But the thing about my mom's story is she worked like a horse. But when shit hit the fan, she could leave because she was married to someone who had money, and she was gonna be taken care of in the divorce. She had been there from the start of his career. Before he was even picked up by a team, I believe they were married. Like they were married in college. So she could do that so that she could stay home so that when shit hit the fan, or if it hit the fan, she didn't plan on that. Mm-hmm. She had the ability to leave. She would be financially taken care of. If you are dealing with a man who can support you to stay at home, but that you wouldn't even get anything if shit hit the fan, you wouldn't be financially taken care of. Well, guess what? You don't have the luxury of staying home. You don't.
No, you don't.
What if something turns destructive and you have to get out? You can't. So I think that's why that triggers you. It triggers me now too.
Yeah, a woman not being able to work, but also sometimes women marry what they believe is a good man, and even in that marriage, things change.
I think everyone who gets married marries a good man, and things change. Yeah.
I just mean that they like ignore red flags too, and they still go through with it. But I just think it's so irresponsible to not have some sort of backup plan
and be sure.
And you know what I mean? Like imagine if you didn't have skills and couldn't work.
I know. It's dangerous. Again, if you're not going to be taken care of, if you leave that guy and get money from him that would take care of you, you're in a really dangerous situation.
That's why I really just want to emphasize to people, don't look to politics for
a promise,
a guideline for how to live your life. I heard, I forgot who Tucker Carlson said this to, but of course, a friend of ours wanted to show me this clip to be like, look.
Oh gosh,
what? And Tucker said, you know, I think people should just have kids, you know, when at the end of high school or when, you know, when they're in their early 20s. I think everybody should just have kids then. And then he goes, believe me, you'll figure out a way to make ends meet then. And I thought to myself, like, how irresponsible is that? Like, what rule book do you think you're following that's gonna? I just know so many stories of people whose lives and childhoods have crumbled because of irresponsible parenthood. Like it made me so mad. And by the way, for people who are paying attention to these political voices, keep in mind that the reason that you feel so compelled to put them on a pedestal is because you really want to belong to a group.
And a lot of times these people have not made the choices that they're pushing on you.
1,000%. Can you talk about how even some of the stuff you said you look back at and you're just like, wait, what?
I can say one. No, I'm not saying. I mean, this is just the first one that came to mind. Well,
Yeah.
no, I'll say a few.
Yeah, just say what.
I mean, I said it earlier when I was talking shit about California, and it's my favorite place in the world. Like, I'd be like, LA, this and that. Of course, we're not a perfect city. What city is perfect? We have issues. We have a lot to handle. But I don't even like to travel. Like, I don't jump at like taking a trip. I literally don't want to leave. I'm like, I'm perfect here. We have the mountains. We have the beach.
We have
I can pop
Erewhon.
down. We have Erewhon. We have my coconut cloud smoothie, no banana, extra pineapple. I can pop down to like OC. I can go. I don't want to leave. I didn't want to leave back then, but I was,
Yeah.
my little internet self, and I would just, it was so
Like
disgusting.
you had to.
It was
had to because
crazy.
Florida was the place you
It
had
was
to
crazy.
go to. Like,
one thing that I'm sort of, it's just a little hard because, listen, my stepdad didn't go to college. He's super successful. I think there's a lot of college degrees that are useless, and I don't want people to sign up for those, especially if they're going to go into debt for it, and they are going to have to pay that off themselves, and they can't find a job that can pay that debt off. But I would talk so much shit on college while I was in college. Like, there's things to say about college, and I still have a lot of shit to say about it. Lots, especially those useless degrees, all that. But I was a total hypocrite. I was in college. So half of these people that push this shit don't make those choices themselves. Tucker, did he have kids out of high school? No. Did his wife have kids out of high school? No. Is his wife educated? I'm sure she is.
Dude,
and not everyone is Campbell Soup or Swanson Air, whatever he is. He has tons of money. Like, a lot of people, they can't right out of high school. So encouraging that, just ridiculous.
irresponsible. And also like Charlie Kirk talking about youthful women when he
married someone older.
Yeah,
Oh
but
my
then
gosh,
he's like,
another
men
example.
like youthful,
Men
much
like
younger women.
much younger.
Stop it.
He marries older.
Stop it.
Wow.
Stop it. I think one of the most powerful things you said today was that when you're on that road and you think you're too far down it, you're not.
You're not.
You can turn around at any point. You
Totally.
can turn around at any point. And I think look, a lot of people do feel very, very lonely. I think a lot of people go down paths that are not for them, whether it is alcohol, drugs, partying, politics, whatever it is, religion. They try to find something that they hope will fill that hole or they hope will get them validation. And you were getting tons of validation.
I know.
Just
Again,
were.
can we just repeat when people are like, he got thrown out of that way? No, I chose to leave. I never was not
no
getting
one was thrown
validation,
out.
babe.
By
I
the
got
way-
a little backlash for a second. Never was thrown out.
And I just, one more correction, because I do see the commentary. There are people from that world, that political world, who still don't even know that you left. They come up to you in front of me.
I know.
And they're like, hey, I'm with what you stand for. And you're just like,
I'm like,
what? You're like,
I'm
women?
like, oh, Dusty suck? Oh, yeah, great. It's so funny. When people come up now, just without them even saying, you can tell what camp they're in, like which version of me they support. One of my other friends, she's always like, oh my gosh, I love the new fans. They're so joyful. They're so
too.
happy.
I
They're all
love them.
smiles. They come up. It's like, it's empowering. And then when old fans come up, it's always straight up negativity. Love them. I'm so grateful for their support. I'm grateful. But it's just funny how the people that I speak to now come up with all this positivity and happiness and joy. Even if they're going through a tough time, it's all smiles. And the old group, all negative all the time. Where I'm like, I told one girl, excuse me, we're in Beverly Hills right now. Like, the sun shines out. You just bought a $30 smoothie. I don't want to hear how bad your life is. I had to check her. I was like, girlfriend, no.
And they're so obsessed with like, who are you going to vote for? Do you think this person's going to win? Or do you think that person's going to win? And it's like, there's things to do, babe.
Babe, I can't.
We have a life to live.
I can't. I'm like, babe, I'm drinking a smoothie right now, please.
You love that coconut cloud.
Yeah, that's my favorite.
And I love the mango one. Malibu mango.
Malibu
or
mango.
something.
Literally, no one else gets that one, but you have never seen anyone get
Really?
that. So I love that you get that one.
It's so good.
Yeah.
I don't understand how they don't. I tried the Winnie Harlow one.
Terrible. Didn't like it.
I think for people who don't like too much sugar, we're kind of more. Is the blue one that you get sweet?
It fluctuates. If the pineapple's sweet, it's really sweet. So it's more sweet. Winnie's was just a little too tart for me. Yeah.
Have you had the Hailey Bieber one?
I like it without banana. Yeah.
Okay, you're not a banana.
I hate banana,
person.
so I get everything without banana.
What else do you get? You get stuff from the Hot Bar at Air One.
And then hot bar recommendations. I mean, I'm kind of basic. I like the buffalo cauliflower, the rotisserie chicken. I love when they have the crispy cod. No one ever gets it, but I love it.
Have you not had Korean short rib?
No.
Ah,
I don't.
Korean short rib.
Everyone
and
likes that.
garlic miracle noodles.
Oh, you love that, right?
Unreal. I
Yeah.
love the Hot Bar. I think it's worth every penny.
Yeah,
I think it's
it
worth
is.
every penny. And the fact that they don't have seed oils. They don't use
Oh, I didn't know that.
seed oils. Yeah, if you look at most of the ingredients, like they're using
Olive
oil. Sometimes you get like coconut oil, coconut amino, whatever, and everything's organic.
Love.
So to me, it's worth.
I like it. I don't
And I
care.
like
I know
my-
it's overpriced. I like it.
I got a membership.
Oh,
I
I don't
know,
even have a membership.
This is all because of you.
Oh my gosh! At the cafe or at the whole thing?
No, the whole thing, I think.
Okay,
I
I
don't
need to
know.
join.
Yeah.
He always tries to get me to join.
Oh, your friend?
Yeah, my friend.
Yeah. It's so good that you have like people at Air One who know you.
Yeah.
But it's one specific one.
I mean, a couple try to get me to join, but there's one that's.
But I mean, you go to that one.
Yeah.
A lot.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, we're gonna need to hit up other Air Ones.
I know.
The one in Studio City.
I love that one.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
The vibe there. There's young people. I
I like the vibe there better.
I have to say, I think, and I've never gone there for this reason, although I want to suggest it to the young people of Los Angeles. I think Studio City Air One is an amazing place to maybe find someone that you would date.
1,000%.
Because first of all, they're spending money.
It's
right there.
It's by a gym,
It's by a gym,
so that's a double
the
opportunity.
lifestyle, and they're just cool. They're vibey.
They're
and
so cool. They're not put
attractive
on.
there,
They're
yeah.
hot. Every time I go with one of my other friends,
Mhm.
we haven't been to the Studio City one together.
True.
We're always like, every time we go, we're like, oh, we could.
I
meet
call
someone
you
here.
from it too.
Yeah,
I
it's
tell you.
awesome.
Yeah. No, I love that. Where else do you go? Well, I can't. I don't want. It's scary how many people approach you when we're out. It's scary how many people.
I love
like,
Alfred's. We'll just leave it there. I love
Yeah,
Alfred's
you
Coffee.
love
There's a ton
Alfred's.
of locations. So.
Yeah. No, there's one place that I can think of.
Yeah, me too. That I'm not
you
gonna
can't say
Yeah.
because it's open. We can say because you can't just get in. I do love San Vicente Bungalows, but yeah, we love Dimitri.
Oh, Dimitri. the
He's
best.
unreal. And yeah, God,
And
I'm
we like being
so-
at home.
I'm so happy that you're in LA.
Me too.
I'm so
every day I
happy
wake
that
up
you're
and
in
I
LA.
say thank you, God, for bringing me back. I'm so happy to be here. It's the best.
I'm so excited for everything that's gonna happen.
Yes,
for
for
you
both-
while
for
you're
both
here. For
of
both of
us.
us. Yes. No, for me too.
Yeah. And it's so fun being your friend and being able to go on the journey with you.
I love you. I have to say, this is one friendship that I am so, so grateful for. Not just because you're there during the good times, because you are there during the good times. You have such similar values to me. Like, I love that we can do like a meditation and you're into that. I love that you love the friends that I curate and the
Yeah.
events and whatever. But I also love that we are able to call each other out on stuff. Like, I can't even count the amount of times that both of us have said, like, hold on, I'm gonna stop you right there.
Yeah,
Hold
yeah.
on. No.
Yeah,
no.
this isn't gonna
And
work.
it's like we think about it and we're like, oh my God, but we need that. We need that in the moment. So to quote you, careful of the friends that are just not just letting you engage in bad behaviors, but letting you think thoughts that are destructive.
Yes.
Forget the bad behavior, the thought.
Thoughts.
Even the thought of like being inferior, or I'm not good enough, or, oh, if I was only this pretty, or that doesn't even matter.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, if you were 2 points hotter on the scale of hotness, I promise you that wasn't going to keep the guy.
No, wasn't going to keep him.
That wasn't
gonna
gonna keep
him. You were
him.
going to get, you might get pumped and dumped, but you wasn't going to keep him.
And by the way, something that I think that women really need to understand that Shira talks about is that a lot of men, and I'm not saying all men, because we do love good men. Like, this is
every video I make, I mention kings.
Yeah,
I mention the good men. I'm obsessed with good men.
We love them.
Obsessed.
We love them. We have them in our lives. We talk about how good they are. We even say, like, we have certain friends where we're like, I want a guy like that.
Yeah, totally.
So this isn't about hating men. But I lost my train of thought. What was I saying?
Something that Shira often says.
Oh, something that Shira often says is a lot of men will say whatever they need to get what's in your pants. And that's why it's so important for women to have boundaries, to wait. And also, I don't know if it's society, the movies, whatever, but we love love. Mm-hmm. I love love. Like, I love love. Mm-hmm. I love the feeling. I love even having a crush on someone. I do love that. But as someone who knows better, mm-hmm. I don't take that as everything. I'm not, like, even if I have a crush on someone, how do I know that that person is going to be there for me in the long run? I don't. Totally. Just because I feel something. So now he deserves all of my time, and my behavior has to be modified to cater towards that guy. I don't think so. That's the problem that a lot of these girls do. That's the problem, is that...
Period.
And then they wonder, why doesn't he like me?
That fiery feeling you get in your stomach of attraction, or when you're around a guy, the anxious, all this, a lot of the times that is your trauma, recognizing a similar trauma in him and being attracted to that.
Yeah.
A fiery feeling in your belly, a little crush, does not mean that person is a good match for you.
Yeah.
We need to be judging people based on how they treat us and what they're willing to do for us and whether they're willing to commit and go on a life journey with us. Not off a feeling in our stomach. That feeling can fade. Love is not just some feeling that can fade. Love is an action. It's something that grows over time. It's a verb. When we look at or talk to couples who have been married for 60 plus years, they often say, I love them more now than I did when I met them, or than I did when I got married, because they've been through trials together. They've been there for each other. They've built stuff together. They've gone on a journey. Love grows over time through actions. It's not just a little feeling.
No, what people are experiencing and calling it love is emotional addiction. You feel emotionally addicted to someone.
Yes.
They're gone for a period of time, or they've rejected you or something, and then all of a sudden they give you a hit of attention, a breadcrumb, whatever.
Yep.
And now that's magnified in your mind.
Totally.
Now that it's literally the equivalent of gambling.
Yep.
Lose. One win, and that feels like the biggest high.
Yes.
That's what this person is to you.
No,
that's what this person is to you.
Awful.
Is that what you want for yourself?
Hell no.
No. And it takes people experiencing tremendous heartbreak, tremendous loss, tremendous anxiety. It takes
discipline too.
But it takes them experiencing tremendous depressive episodes for them to realize, no, I'm not doing this anymore.
I've been through all that with men. All of it.
Most women
depressive episodes in my life's over because of this guy, whatever. And I say to friends now, when they continue giving energy to a guy that has proven that he's not good for them, I say to them, because I've been through this with men before already, and instead of continuing to repeat the pattern, I've changed my behavior and changed what I'm attracted to, so I don't have to put up with that anymore. Thank God I learned my lesson young, and I didn't have to go through all my 20s effing up in my 30s, whatever. I say to friends now, you just haven't been effed over enough now. I'll go,
yeah, like, you just need to get screwed over.
If they keep complaining about the same guy, I just laugh and I go, I'm glad it's not me. You haven't been through what I've been through. So when you've been through a little bit more and you've been heartbroken a little bit more, then you'll finally be over it. But you haven't been down bad enough yet.
What was your type before, and then what is it now? Because you said you trained yourself to like something different.
Yeah. So first of all, I know this is going to trigger some people, and I hope it does. I want to say one thing. What you're attracted to now physically, you can grow 100%. We know a friend who's like, I only like 10 out of 10 smoke shows. No. You can expand. So one, I'm really proud of myself for expanding what I'm attracted to physically, and that comes from taking into account more than just looks. But when I was younger, a lot of what I was attracted to was look focused.
Remember when we both liked Middle Eastern men only?
Now, I never only.
Oh, mine was.
Mine was only.
Mine was only.
They were at the top of the food chain.
Oops.
Yeah, but when you asked that question, I didn't immediately think you were talking about looks. I just wanted to say that if you are finding yourself like really restricted, you can expand. I'm not gonna put up with this. You can totally expand. But I used to really like put a lot of stock into a certain look. And now I want to be attracted. Of course, I will only put up with being attracted to someone, but I now only allow myself to even get attracted to someone if they're giving me princess treatment. If they are not doing anything for me, pursuing me, or coming after me, I can't even get myself to be attracted to them. What am I attracted to? I'm attracted to how someone looks. I can go to the grocery store and see someone attractive. Like, I can go anywhere in the world, especially in Los Angeles, and find someone attractive. That's not something I want to pursue. I only really get that attraction feeling if someone's giving me princess treatment now. I've trained my body to be like that.
And at 24 years old.
Thankfully.
People forget how young you are. I said this before, but I'm going to say it again because but that girl that came up to you who was nearing 40, and she said, I broke up with my boyfriend because of you. And now she's engaged to a guy who took her to Europe on their second date.
Love it.
And
love it.
She came up to you and told you
and thanked my work.
Yeah. So
which
it's
was
like,
such an honor. And I want to say another thing. Her fiance also liked me. So when dusty men are throwing temper tantrums in my comments, I don't feel like, oh, I'm pissing men off. Men are going to hate me, because the kings like what I have to say. The kings agree with me. It's only the dusty men that disagree.
Oh my God. How many times have I found a Stitch video of a king being like,
love those.
I thought about this and he's right. And I'm just
at first I was triggered by what he said, and then I thought about it and I was like, he got a point.
Yeah.
I love those. I love
maybe
those.
I'll like stitch one of these in here because it's iconic. I love it. And so I think people should just pay attention to the good relationships, because you'll find something that's starkly different than the way you feel or what your girlfriends are telling you or what you think looks good on Instagram or whatever. We don't even talk about. Have we ever looked at an Instagram post of an Instagram couple and thought, I want what they have?
Never. I don't even take them seriously.
We don't even care. We don't care if
seriously.
someone's a smoke show. Thinking someone's a smoke show and caring about that is like a girl looking at a guy who's rich and being like, oh my God, he's so amazing. You don't know anything about him.
You don't know.
You don't know anything about him. Kindness and the way they treat you are way more important than that.
Totally.
Having that is good. I'm not saying
we want that.
We want that. That's fine. But you cannot let that lead. You can never let it lead.
You judge a romantic interest on how they treat you and nothing else. I mean, like, no, you need to take other things into account, but you don't let yourself get over the moon about someone unless they're giving you that princess treatment, period.
Yeah.
And you protect your heart.
I was thinking about it. You give so much advice to women, and I'm wondering, what would you say to men? What would you say? Because sometimes you do pepper in like something for a man, like, look, if you're this, you need to be doing this, but like, what would you say to a man? I guess you do say it to our friend, who they say they're looking for a good woman.
Oh.
Right? They say they're looking for
the men that say this are never.
First of all, what is a good woman? What is a good woman? Do they even know?
I think oftentimes they don't. When I hear that, majority of the time they're looking for a smoke show that they can project qualities onto. Right. They're not looking for a good woman.
Yeah.
I think this one thing I've been mentioning a lot in my videos is that men are not entitled to a woman. So if they were to ask me that question, I'd say, Well, let's talk about what you're doing in your life right now to get her and to earn her and to attract her. Are you building? Are you doing really good at work? Are you in the gym? Like, what are you doing to then be able to go out and earn that woman? You're not entitled to a woman just as you are. A man needs to put work in to get the woman. So when they say things like that, I'm like, well, let's just do a little inventory of your life and what it looks like right now, and then we'll get to that.
What about if they came to you and said, yeah, but like, what qualities should I look for in her? What should she be doing in the relationship? Should I just date any woman? So people should look into like the Gottman Institute.
Yes, please.
And no politician or political party is gonna talk about these things. Like, please stop looking to these people for advice. It's just like they don't be knowing.
They don't get it.
They don't get it. I'm gonna ask you a question that I ask everybody on this show. And it's a hypothetical scenario because I feel like people have such a hard time identifying what's like the most important message that they want to share because there's just so many. There's just so many. And so here's the hypothetical scenario. You're at the Oscars because you're nominated for a film. And they call out the nominees. And when they call out the winner, you hear Christian Walker. And you walk up to the stage. You thank everybody that you need to thank. Your mom, even your dad, your stepdad, all your friends, everyone who contributed to the movie, God. And there's a 45-second window before they start playing music for you to wrap up. What message is so important to you that you're going to say it in that 45 seconds?
That is the craziest question ever. I think naturally I would mention something about the project and a theme of the project, and then say something about how you are not your pain, your trauma, or the things you've been through, and life offers opportunities to heal, and support yourself enough and love yourself enough to take those opportunities, do the work, so you can be the best version of yourself for you and for the people around you. Don't let your pain guide you. Find ways to overcome it because you're worthy of it.
Love.
I would have to come up with something better.
No, but it's
before.
good. It puts
But
you.
I would
You have
something
an
like
idea.
that. Something like that.
Okay, amazing. I love it.
Thank you for
Yay.
having me.
Oh my God, thank you for coming.